Okay, I, along with other people, try and speak out about child abuse and that. And this is a light-hearted piece I did about the many people that get in your way when you try and do so. It's called "You Won't Let Us Even Get a Foot in the Door, We Just Want to Be Heard." We ain't selling double glazing. Your phobia of us is amazing. We ain't selling life of redemption. You know what? Show us some appreciation. There we are, left outside in the cold, just for being so bold as to stand up for our rights. Why you make it such a fight? Walk past us. We won't ask, can you spare any change? But change we'd like. We're not cold calling you with any political or other point of view. We're not clipboard in hand running up to you for your point of view, chasing you down the street as you try and flee. We're just the silent, speaking out, a voice silent until now. That's long for me. I usually write short stuff. Anyway, this second one, I wrote one called Dead Poets, which I've read here once. But this is about a similar thing. It's called Geezer Non-Poet. And basically it's about the poetry world, so-called. And I was speaking to a poet, and he had the same thing. And it's like, it's hard for me to say I was 60 views or I've got mental health problems. But it's just as hard sometimes to say that you write poetry. It's very embarrassing. Created by these people, you know. So this one I wrote about that, and it's called Geezer Non-Poet. I'm a geezer, not a poet. I'm a geezer making time to be sure to show it. A hidden poet, embarrassed to come out. Is poetry hidden, forbidden or not? There's no doubt. The people's poet, poetry by the people, for the people. People, poet, we are. Our poems don't match up to theirs. Theirs don't match up to ours. Oh, to be different. So what's so wrong with that? Time to break these shackles and speak of this poetry. So what type of poetry do you write? Poetry, perhaps you've heard of it. Merciless today, so why not we? We've got to take this poetry back, a revolutionary fact. But don't worry, the only weapons you need are but a pen, paper, and of course, the spoken word. Okay? This is one more question. Right. This one is about, it was this woman, and she was really horrible about vulnerable people, and unfortunately she worked with vulnerable people, which really got me. It really upset me, and one day I imagined this thing, and I imagined her, and she didn't know I wrote poetry and none of that, and I imagined this situation, and I thought it was funny, and it was positive. It sounds something negative and positive, which you can do, and I've done lots of times. And so I wrote this little piece about it. It's called She Said, He Said. She mocked me with full intent, her tongue like a razor to slice right through me. Attack, attack. This is not poetry, she said. It doesn't even rhyme. As I turned to her and said, by your command. But my inner self is not on demand. It's not as fine as the grains of sand, but also not so bland. She turned, just like her look. She went away, and that was all it took. Again. Called The Art of Being Lonely. Loneliness is ugly. Loneliness is a world full of people, yet still being alone. Loneliness is a room full of people, close, but never could be further away. Loneliness is finding it hard to say, I am lonely. Loneliness is not to be shared. Loneliness is the sharing of it, but to still be lonely. Loneliness is an overpopulated world with lands empty of green spaces, towns with houses packed side by side, with nowhere to hide where it won't find you, as loneliness consumes you. Loneliness is nosy neighbours offering to do favours just to find out more. Loneliness is in bright lit streets with lots of noise and a closing time that brings the revellers out while you are always in. Loneliness is cities with tower blocks towering and reaching the sky like concrete fingers always pointing away. And still you are lonely, and still you are alone. Loneliness is miserable. Loneliness is people avoiding you like it's a disease they can catch from you. You have loneliness, you're a carrier, you are contagious always. You carry it with you, so they stay away. Loneliness is to love God and not feel loved. Loneliness is too much to bear. Loneliness is to be aware that you're alone but to have no answers for it. Loneliness is to be suddenly invited to places you wouldn't go with people you don't even know. Loneliness is pitiful. Loneliness is dark. Loneliness is to write a short poem that could have filled so many pages more. Loneliness for that poem to be called The Art of Being Lonely, and for it to come from you and be too true. Loneliness is not a forgotten art. It's when You're worlds apart. Thank you.